What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Veve Investments. I appreciate you tuning in. On today's episode, we're talking about 11 things that the team can focus on to expose the platform to more people. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. Without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, I've mentioned in the past that I want to use this channel as a way to communicate with the team, and they have recently mentioned that they're ramping up marketing. So in today's episode, I wanted to focus on specific things that they can do to market the platform to more people. Now, there are going to be things on this list that I'm sure the team has already considered, but there are things on this list that I haven't really seen many companies at all in the NFT space execute. So with that being said, we're talking about 11 different points. So let's hop right into the first one. So the first point I have on this list is going to be endorsements, and this is probably an obvious one to many people, but Veve working with celebrities or people with large followings to promote Veve collectibles or comics on the platform. And doing something like this can benefit Veve in multiple different ways. So the first way is increased brand visibility for obvious reasons. You take a person like Shaq, for example, who has over 50 million followers across socials, and we've already seen him post videos with a Spider-Man in AR. Now, when you see individuals like this already enjoying the stuff that Veve has to offer, then in my opinion, it's an opportunity that the team can capitalize on. Now, another thing that can come with this is credibility and trust. So if you happen to work with a celebrity who a lot of people from your following happen to enjoy as well, then that can help increase their trust in your brand as a result. It's an easy way to achieve expanded reach, emotional connections, okay? So celebrities often have a strong emotional connection with their fans. So when they endorse your product, they may associate their positive emotions that they feel towards the celebrity with your brand. When you work with celebrities, obviously what comes with that is media coverage, which can just generate additional, buzz and exposure for, in this case, Veve. And then it would also be a way for Veve to set themselves apart from the competition. Now, the next point I have on the list is AR filters. So Veve could partner with social companies to provide exclusive AR filters. The keyword there is exclusive, okay? So I'm not talking about stuff that's offered on the Veve app, because then that would, devalue those pieces for whoever's holding them. But having some sort of interactive product showcase, right? It would give potential customers a taste of what it's like to own and actually interact with your products without actually being on the Veve app. Now, in a similar way to what David's always talking about with word of mouth and sharing it with your family and friends, providing things like exclusive AR filters would have the potential to go viral on social media platforms from people sharing their experiences with their friends or followers. So let's say, for example, I know nothing about Veve. I'm over on Snapchat, and then Snapchat all of a sudden releases a filter that has a Veve promo in it. Exclusive animation for an exclusive piece that Veve has put together for Snapchat. Then things like this would help build brand affinity. It would establish a memorable experience for users. And then it would also increase the likelihood of those users becoming customers for Veve. It's not necessarily linking them directly to the app, but it's exposing them to what Veve has to offer. Now, with that being said, I do also think that Veve should have a designated team, if they don't already, that's assigned to improve their social feed on the app. If the team can provide a better experience for that feed, it's only going to make sharing with family and friends easier and more enjoyable for users. Next on the list, and this is an interesting one. I think this has the potential to do really, really well for Veve, and I'm talking about GIFs. So I mentioned in the last video that I said Peppy Penguins. It's really Pudgy Penguins. I was thinking of something else, but I noticed that Pudgy Penguins, if you search just general topics for GIFs, I've found that Pudgy Penguins content actually pops up from time to time. So this got me thinking about Veve, because I'm thinking, okay, Veve has a range of IP that would allow them to create a range of GIFs. But if I compare Pudgy Penguins to Veve, Pudgy Penguins is a brand new brand. Veve is comprised of brands that have been around for decades that everyone knows and loves. So in terms of the content that they could provide, the GIFs don't even need to promote the app. In a similar way to our last point, they would point to the app, right? If somebody searches a general topic and then some sort of GIF pops up with a Veve collectible in it, the average person's going to recognize that that's Iron Man or that's Mickey Mouse. But the question they may ask is, okay, wait, where is that from? So if the team was to focus on generic topics that people often search and then use collectibles from Veve to create content around those topics, just completely flood the GIF market. Hire an individual or hire a small team that is dedicated to just making GIF content or GIF content. I don't know which way you pronounce it. So I could type in an emotion like so happy, or an action like laughing, or a movie like Back to the Future, or an artist like Ron English, right? All of these things are things that I can search. And when I search them as GIFs, Veve collectibles or comics should pop up. Next on the list, I want to talk about Pinterest, okay? So this is another interesting one. Pinterest is actually a very, very great platform for linking to other platforms. So for those who aren't aware or who have never used it before, what you can do is actually tag multiple different items in a photo and link them to a specific website, right? So in the example on the right, you see a room filled with furniture, and then you have the chair, the plant, the coffee table, and the wall art all linked to an online store that sells those individual pieces. Now, another advantage to the platform is both video and photo content actually has the potential to do really well. So the platform doesn't really favor one or the other. Now, let's say, for example, I follow Veve on Instagram. Even despite the fact that I'm following them, I can click my homepage feed and I will only see a certain amount of content that they have posted before I have to really scroll and find the rest. That's because content expires relatively fast on platforms like Instagram. On Pinterest, however, posts actually build momentum over time. So if I post something right now, 3 or 4 weeks from now, that post can still be getting views. On Instagram, that is not the case. 3 or 4 days goes by and the engagement on that post significantly drops. So when you think about how you can use a platform like Pinterest with Veve, you can link multiple different Veve collectibles or comics in a single post right to the web app, okay? I do want to be clear, however, this would be once KYC is pushed, because if you do link right to the web app right now, that person would be forced to complete that process before really doing anything else. But once that gets pushed, someone can get linked right to the actual item on Veve, and then they can open it up in 3D, they can open up the market, complete KYC, and purchase one for themselves. You wouldn't want to link it right to the actual listing, because if somebody buys the listing, then that link would expire. But once KYC is pushed, something like this would definitely be possible. Now, another specific method I want to talk about here is TikTok, but I want to talk about a specific approach to actually using the platform. So first things first, TikTok is a great platform for showcasing collectibles and AR. But the way that I think about it and the way that I think Veve should use it is it can be approached in a very similar way to a lot of modern music promos. So I'm going to toss a couple of videos on screen right now of a certain artist that I think is actually really, really good at doing this. The reason why I think they're so good at it is because most people even watching this video wouldn't know it's actually a music promo if I didn't point it out.
Ready? Except for that first night with 2 kids. Sorry, my guitar player sucks. Bruh. Except for that first night with 2 kids under that moon. We ate McDonald's at midnight, became the best of friends. I remember our first night in Barcelona that morning. I was so hungover, I never thought that our roads led to this. Ready? I'm on my knees and I'm begging you. Sorry, my fly was undone. What? I'm begging you. So put your loving hands out, baby. I'm begging you. So put your loving hands out, darling. Ready? Yep. I'm at a payphone trying to. Sorry, I was just a little nervous. I'm at a payphone trying to call home all of my change I spent on you. Where have the times gone, baby? It's all wrong. Where are the plans we made for two?
So as you guys can see, they get reactions from people on the street. Not every single song they play is a song of theirs. However, when they release a song, this is the way they promote it. They get reactions from people listening to their music, and then they edit their music into the final video. So when I compare this to Veve, we could have a small team that goes out, gets reactions from strangers in public of their favorite characters augmented right in front of them. I don't show my face, but if you're a YouTuber, this is an easy success formula. Like, you can go out, I'll tell you exactly how you could do this. You go out with your phone, you have a little cameraman with you. You show people that character augmented in front of them on your phone while your cameraman records you. And then what you do in the final video is you edit that character as if it's augmented right in front of them in the final video, so all the viewers watching the video can see what the person is looking at on your phone. And again, because Veve offers characters that everyone knows and loves, I think this is something that would blow up so naturally. You could get reactions of people seeing the little Lambo and AR driving around. You can get somebody, reacting to sitting in a DeLorean in AR. You could have somebody react to Hulk smash. You could have somebody react to seeing through Miles Morales' secret rare, right? There's so much that you can do with this, and I think there's so much that people would be amazed by that know nothing about the app. Now, one last thing I want to mention about this point is TikTok is a very spontaneous platform, okay? And random events can make your videos go viral. I'm going to toss a couple more clips on screen, and in these clips, there are things that were completely unexpected that happened that caused these videos to get millions and millions of more likes than they would have otherwise.
We're gonna play you a song. If you don't like this song, you get to slap me in the face. If you like this song, you have to follow us on Spotify. Caroline, you keep me running from the very first night. Tastes like a soda pop in that first kiss. Oh my, she's my favorite kind. Caroline.
I mean, Caroline, she was so fine. Only thing I ever did, like, lose my mind. I'm trying to see her, but I'm still blind. I'm just trying to get to Caroline. Everywhere that she go made me feel real slow. About to slow her real down just so that she know I'm so in love with you. I just want to be the one that you calling true.
If she's a 10, your relationship probably looks something like this. Let's go.
Sometimes I wish that I could just quit,
I love it.
but then the other times there's nobody better than this. Even though you never listen and you're always right, and I guess I would have never bit your type.
So if a team from Veve is out there recording people's reactions every single day, stuff like this could probably happen from time to time as well. For point number 6, I have event coordinators. So having people on board that are capable of running large events for Veve in the Veveverse, I think is key. But what's also key is making sure that the events they're looking to run are completely unique and different from what other competitors have ran in the past. So when I say competitors, I'm talking Decentraland, I'm talking Sandbox. These are virtual worlds that have been around for a number of years now that have ran a number of events. From concerts to corporate events, there's a list of them. But in terms of the events ran in the Veveverse, they should set the Veveverse apart from the rest of the virtual spaces. That's not me saying don't run concerts or things like that. Stuff like that I think are just naturally going to happen. But I'm thinking along the lines of like NFT scavenger hunts. We got the gallery and museum tours because I'm sure they're going to have the Disneyland and the Marvel worlds and all that type of stuff. But one thing that I think would be really, really cool is collectible or comic launch events. So think of something similar to like a movie premiere. I think for big collectibles or big comic drops, this would be absolutely awesome to have a designated location in the Veveverse where people can meet and, celebrate the launch of a certain piece dropping on the app. Now, we just dropped a video talking about future applications for collectibles. Film production was one of those applications. And I think Veve should have a department that focuses strictly on creating short films with Veve assets in the Veveverse. I've used Fortnite short films as an example in the past. These aren't even production films that are created by Epic Games, but they're films that get millions and millions of views that some are created by teens over on YouTube. We did also see the most recent video example in the Veveverse update video where there was like a little production set. And the more I think about it, the more I think that the Veve team set it up on purpose to display exactly that, a little film set. I can't really think of any other reason why it was set up the way that it was. So in addition to the professional grade content that they're now releasing for, comic drops and collectible drops, they have the more in-depth videos coming out with Corey from Veve and 3. I think having a team that films content inside of the Veveverse would be a great way to expose the platform to more people as well. Next up, I want to talk about AR pop-up shops. So we know the team has traveled to different, collectible and comic events like Comic-Con, for example, but I'm thinking more along the lines of clothing store pop-up shops. So in locations, maybe around larger cities, like Toronto, for example, where you have small pop-up shops that people can walk into and scan barcodes that pretty much activate certain AR features, right? That showcase your Veve collectibles or comics. It would allow people to engage with your products in a memorable and immersive way while allowing the team to travel around and promote the platform. It's also a great way to start exposing the platform to non-collectors, right? People who, like myself, before Veve were not collectors. So I do think that the team needs to promote in more non-collecting environments. An example of this, think about Tesla's display stores inside shopping malls. There's some shopping malls where you can walk into them and you'll see 2 Teslas inside of a store. Obviously you can't test drive them, but they're just display vehicles for people to sit in and look at. And then obviously, in addition to all the AR features and effects inside the store, you would also have prompts to have people sign up to the app. Number 9, I thought about subscription boxes. So hear me out on this one. Launch a subscription box service that delivers physical merchandise related to Veve collectibles and comics, along with promo codes for exclusive digital content. I think this is a great way for Veve to earn recurring revenue, where each box would have, different AR triggers. It would allow subscribers to unlock unique experiences or certain digital collectibles that may be exclusive through that subscription box. Or maybe you might get a promo code to redeem a digital collectible through the app. But I also think this is a great way to pair physicals with digitals, and obviously phygitals being something that David has said is planned for 2023. Now, speaking of promo codes, I think the team needs to introduce more ways to use these promo codes. I think they've been around for a little bit now, and I think that, we're still limited in terms of how we can use them. We've seen the movie tickets, and then we've also seen codes sent for airdrops or drop reservations. But here's an example for you. Pairing adult Happy Meals with promo codes would allow people to pair physical toys that they receive in the Happy Meal with a digital version over on Veve. Now, obviously, McDonald's is a huge brand. I'm not just saying they could walk in and make this partnership happen, but this would just be an example of an application for the codes. Another advantage to this is it would also add value to the meal itself, because the customer would be getting 2 toys as opposed to the one that they get now. So it's a win-win for both companies. And last but not least, I thought about a trade-in program. So introducing some form of trade-in program would allow users to exchange their digital collectibles for corresponding physical versions. So I mentioned how prior to Veve, I was not a collector, but now Veve has got me into collecting. I've also seen many people in the community start to buy physical collectibles that they never purchased prior to Veve as a result of seeing them on Veve. So this would create a bridge between traditional collectors and the digital world, allowing them to embrace the AR aspects of the collectibles over on Veve, or choosing to burn them from the circulating supply or a physical version. Now, I do see a little issue with this, and that is, take the collectible on screen, for example. Obviously, there was only a certain amount of physicals created to begin with. So in order to make this work, they would have to kind of, figure it out with the artist in terms of, well, whether the artist would want to make more to begin with, or whether they take that into account when originally making the piece. But I'm sure it's something the team could figure out, and, when compared to all the other obstacles and hurdles they've been through, that's probably, a piece of cake. And with regards to the licensors and artists, it would actually provide them with additional opportunities as well. Ladies and gents, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. I'm always brainstorming, so I'm sure there's always going to be more things that I think of down the line. But those are 11 specific things that I think the team can do to expose the platform to more people. Some things that they can do right now, and some they can do when the Veveverse drops. But if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for our next, I'll catch you then.